Today I'm going to show you how I built this jewellery slash keepsake box out of pine with brass fixtures.
Here we're going to cut the sides, top and bottoms to length.
Now we've got all the sides cut up and the top and the bottom plates. Now we're just going to give it a quick sand and then put it all together. Okay, so what we're going to do now is glue up the base together. So we're just going to use some clamps. I'm not going to use any screws or nails on this one, just because it's going to be a jewellery box, so we want the finish to be quite nice. So I've got all my clamps here, and put the top and bottom plates away for now. We'll choose the best faces for the outside of the box. So I'm thinking something like that. And then the faces out like this. We'll glue them together and then we'll clamp them and see how it goes. I actually bought a pack of the Irwin quick grip clamps, which I absolutely love. I needed another pair, so I actually bought these a couple months ago, the craft right ones from Bunnings. They're actually not too bad, but they're just a little bit shorter than the Irwin ones. I didn't realise that, so they didn't actually reach. So what I've done is just use two quick grip short ones, put them together. At least that'll give the tension on the top to keep the sides from moving while the glue's setting. The glue that I usually use is Tarzan grip. I find that it's one of the better ones. You pay a little bit extra, but I've used other ones like the Sealy's. I just don't think it's quite the same. Also, I just want to mention that I've just flipped my job over, grabbed the tape measure, measured each of the corners. Both of them at 17, so at least it's nice and square. That's the easiest way to find if it's square. So now we just got the two plates for the top or the bottoms. I've cut them all the same size, so that's perfect. So what we're going to do is put them on edge, grab the sandpaper, Just smooth it up a little bit. It's dressed pine, so it's quite smooth anyways. Wipe off the dust there. Run a bead of wood glue. Then we'll get our clamps. I like to wipe the excess off before it dries, mainly just to save cleanup. So we'll just make sure those panels are nice and flush. Easiest way to do it is grab another board, make sure it's nice and flush, give it a tighten, grab the other clamp. So there's just a little bit of a rock to this one. That'll be all pulled tight when we clamp this down to the base. It probably just has a little bit of a twist in the board. That's alright. Yeah, as I said, we'll just clamp it down to the base and that'll take that rock out. So what we're going to do next, just grab the sander, we'll go around the top, make it nice and flush. And also the sides, make them nice and flush with the sides. Yeah, we'll get into it.
This was really bad timing. The Ryobi battery was fully charged, so that wasn't the issue. The issue was that the connector of the battery in the actual sander broke, so I had to go down to Bunnings and replace it. I didn't have a receipt, but they replaced it free of charge, just because it was within warranty.
Seems my sander's just giving it up, loose connection or something like that, so we'll just finish off with a little bit of hand sanding. Before we attach it, we'll just grab our sander, give it a quick sand. That'll at least it'll be nice and for when we finish it. Okay, so our glue's pretty much dry here. Before it sets completely, we'll put it onto the base of the box. That way, if there's any wiggle room, the clamps will fix that. So what we'll do first is we'll clean up this with a chisel. I just use the worst chisel that I've got. That way I'm not ruining any good ones. Run along the top, trying not to scratch it. Just clean it up with a cloth. That'll make the sanding a little bit less hard work for you. That's a side that I've cleaned up beforehand. I wish I did the other side, but yeah, that's how it is. Just before we attach the base to the box, I'm just going to get a little bit of this Timbermate wood filler, and just to fill up any odd spots that we've got that isn't quite right. I like to give it a nice sand before we go to the next step, but I'm just going to get it as flush as I can, finish it off with the chisel, because we won't see the side anyways. You'll see the side of the panel, which doesn't look too bad. Once you hit that with a bit of sandpaper, that'll be fine. So we've got our panels joint together, they're all glued up. Now we're just going to hit it with the sander and just take out any of the imperfections in the wood, smooth it out, and get rid of some of the glue in the seam. So this will be our top panel, so we'll put that away to the side, and we'll grab our bottom panel. This one has a slight bow that you can see, so we'll put the bow facing up so that way the rock's at the bottom. We'll grab our box, we'll take off the clamps there, put them aside. Just be ready to join the base to the box. So what we're going to do is we'll work out which side we'd prefer to be the top. This has got a little bit of they seem to be very similar. We'll grab the sander, we'll just do a quick run over it, and we'll use this as our bottom. Just clear the dust off there. We'll put some glue down. And put our panel on top. That's got the rock to the top, and then we'll clamp it all up. Now that the glue's dried, we're going to take off all the clamps. Grab our chisel, clean off any of the glue that's dried that you can see. Then we're going to run the sander over the top of the sides of it just to give it final finish, and then we'll work on the top. Now we got our box all sanded up, we've got the lid here. We've got to choose which side we want the lid to be. I quite like this side, so I'll flip it over. Now there's a slight, probably half a mil that I haven't accounted for, probably just in the sanding process. So we're just going to use a little bit of scrap paper, cardboard, put it underneath. That way it can just even out that joint a little bit. Now what we're going to do is we're going to attach these brass hinges. They just have a couple of little brass nails. We're going to measure it out and attach them to the lid and the box. So one thing that I should have double checked is that my table saw was on a perfect 90-degree angle. the table saw that I've got, it's a Aldi drop saw that I got. I'm not a fan of it. It's not very accurate at all. So occasionally I do come across something like this. I don't have any other timber to use for the top, so I'm just going to use it as is. I'm just going to do a round off with my router. So we'll just go back over the project with a little bit of sandpaper and touch up any areas. Looks like we just got a touch of glue here, so we'll just finish that off with the chisel. And we'll just go back over that area with a little bit of sandpaper. Now that side's not absolutely perfect, but that definitely takes the emphasis off that. This is going to be a birthday present, so it's not too much of an issue. If it was something that I was going to sell, I'd make sure that panel's perfect. But we'll put it on the catch and we'll see how it looks. So I've just measured the center of the box, placed the clasp on top. Now I'm just nailing it off, like the other side, with the hinges. It's best just to make a point with a biro. That way you know exactly where the middle is. Push down the pin as hard as you can, and then just tap it in for the rest of the way. Another way that you can do it is just putting a pin into a bit of cardboard that you've ripped. Then you can just line up the hole. The cardboard will hold it, and then you just tap it in. Pull out the cardboard, straighten out your nail, and tap it in the rest of the way. I like finishing mine with coconut oil. It brings out the natural grain of the piece of work. What I do is I just get a cloth, just scoop a little bit on, and then just start rubbing it in.
After you've given it a good oil, just grab another cloth, a dry cloth, and just give it a wipe off for any excess. You don't want to leave any excess on there, it's just like normal oil. You want it to dry nice and give it a nice even finish.
Well, it's a finished product. It looks very nice. A bit of a downside is that lid. I might redo the lid for her. But other than that, it looks absolutely beautiful. I'll be definitely trying to make another one of these to sell. Thanks for watching that, guys. Very much appreciate it. This is our first build video on our new page, Polar Bear Woodworking. Check out our Instagram. We've got a few things up there at the moment. But yeah, I've enjoyed doing this. Hope you guys enjoyed watching it, and I'll be looking forward to making a few more projects. If you guys could like, comment and subscribe, much appreciated. Thanks for that.